Good day everyone. Welcome to our introduction to the philosophy of the human person, Module 1.1 Holistic Perspective and Partial Point of View. Hello everyone, this is Ma'am Neri. Aside from personal development, I also teach Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. Please consider this video as your reference in understanding the subject. For today's topic, we have Quarter 1, Module 2, The Value of Doing Philosophy. Welcome to Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. This is Ma'am Neri, your teacher counselor, greeting you all with a bountiful day ahead. In today's video, we shall tackle Quarter 1, Module 3, Doing Philosophy. Welcome to our session on Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. In this video, we shall discuss Quarter 1, Module 5, Philosophical Analysis and Synthesis. René Descartes said that we need a method if we are to investigate the truth of things. Early on, you have studied and learned the value of seeking truth. You have also distinguished truth from opinion. You will be further introduced to the method of philosophizing in this module. René Descartes in his book Rules for the Direction of the Mind suggests that one needs a method, a way of investigating things in order to arrive at the truth. This method or way will lead us to gain wisdom. Are you excited to be wise? Let's start. You may need a pen and paper for some activities. At the end of this module, you should be able to 1. Explain analysis and synthesis as methods of philosophizing, and 2. Realize that the methods of philosophy lead to wisdom and truth. Now that you know your targets for the day, have a glimpse of the following words which may appear in this module. Method is a procedure or process for attaining an object, such as a systematic procedure, technique, or motive, inquiry employed by or proper to a particular discipline or art, a way, technique, or process of or for doing something. Wisdom is being able to decide what is true and right based on your experience and knowledge. Satire is a literary work holding up human vices and follies to ridicule or scorn. Trenchant wit, irony, or sarcasm is used to expose and discredit vice or folly. A priori is a knowledge independent of experience. A posteriori is knowledge that proceeds from experience. Propositions are statements about what is and either true or false. PRE test. True or false. Direction: read each item carefully and write the letter of the correct answer in your notebook. Write T if the statement is true and F if the statement is false. Good luck. 1. Analysis primarily deals with paying consideration to the issue we want to resolve. 2. René Descartes converses that analysis explains the true way by means of which the thing in question was discovered methodically. 3. An analysis is for making the truth understood by others once it is found. 4. It is important that in doing an analysis, you must proceed from what is better known to less known. 5. Not all students are enrolled this school year for fear of COVID-19 is an example of the proposition. Learning Activity 1. Read the short story and answer the questions that follow. Write your answers in your notebook. The best friend, Pedro, is a grade 12 student at Paula High School. He attends his class regularly and never misses school activities, more so school requirements such as assignments and projects. His best buddy Juan is also a student of the same school, although he belongs to another section. One Friday afternoon, while the school was having a closing program for its 3-day activity, Juan asked Pedro to skip the program and play Mobile Legends instead inside the classroom. For a while, Pedro became hesitant knowing that it is the policy to attend and finish school activities. Besides, he was tasked by their class advisor to monitor the attendance and participation of the class. However, Juan insists that Pedro may just assign another classmate to watch over the class. Reluctant as he is, and avoiding offending his buddy, Pedro agreed. He asked Liza, the class muse, to watch over the class, and off he went with Juan. Unfortunately, a number of his classmates also skipped the activity and were caught playing cards, which is strictly prohibited in the school. Considering the violation of the students, the class advisor was summoned and called to explain. The teacher also asked Pedro for an explanation for failing to monitor his classmates. Pedro explained with much apologies and regret and promised not to renege on his duties again. Guide questions. 1. Was Pedro right in agreeing to Juan's request? 2. What made his actions right? What made his actions wrong? 3. If you were Pedro, what should you have done? Why? 4. What guiding principle could you make out of Pedro's actions? Learning Activity 2. Below are editorial cartoons. Take a moment to look at each cartoon frame/figure, then answer briefly the questions that follow. Write your answers in your notebook. 1. What have you observed in each figure? Give at least 3 observations. 2. What is common in your observations? 3. What general rule can you draw from your observations? Did you have fun arriving at the truth of things and then gaining wisdom? Below is the core of this module. It will help you understand further the methods of philosophizing. Let us take a look at the following concepts. Deepening. The philosophical method is organizing and structuring a series of thoughts properly in order to arrive distinctly at truth and wisdom. Antoine Arnauld and Nicole Pierre, in their book Logic or the Art of Thinking, identified 2 methods, namely philosophical analysis and philosophical synthesis. Analysis, or the method of resolution, also known as the method of discovery, is for discovering the truth. Synthesis, or the method of composition, also called the method of instruction, is for making the truth understood by others once it is found. The analysis primarily deals with paying consideration to the issue you want to resolve. The bigger issue is broken down into smaller and simpler concepts in order to understand it better. It is assumed that once it is made smaller and simpler, it will become more understandable. It is your determination to examine truths that would lead you to the knowledge you are in quest of. The method of analysis includes the following: 1. Start with what is better known to what is less known. 2. Investigate with a particular examination rather than general. 3. Introduce clear and evident rules or maxims. René Descartes converses that analysis explains the true way by means of which the thing in question was discovered methodically and as it were a priori, so that if the reader is willing to follow it and give sufficient attention to all points, he will make the thing his own and understand it just as perfectly as if he had discovered it for himself. Synthesis proceeds a posteriori by demonstrating the conclusion methodically and clearly so that one cannot deny the conclusions. The proper deduction of the consequences is shown as it is contained in the process. Propositions are broken to their smallest elements for ease of understanding, are now combined together to form a cohesive whole. Application. Let's practice. Direction. Analyze the speech of Charlie Chaplin. Answer the questions below. Use your notebook. Charlie Chaplin's controversial speech, The Great Dictator, 1940. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We all want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there is room for everyone and the earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. But we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, and has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery we need humanity, more than cleverness we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and the power they took from the people will return to the people, and liberty will never perish. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, "The kingdom of God is within man." Not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men. You the people have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You the people have the power to make life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let's use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give you the future and old age and security. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Let us all unite. Processing Guide. 1. Identify an issue in the article. 2. Why is it the issue? 3. What statements support the issue? 4. Is it true and right? Present at least 3 reasons for having your experience and knowledge as your basis. Learning Activity 3. Direction. Using the same editorial cartoons at Learning Activity 2, arrange them according to topic and give a simple synthesis on each category. Write your answer in your notebook. Follow the format below. Find me. Based on the deepening and learning activities you had just accomplished, look for and encircle 5 important words in the word puzzle, vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. Matching type. Direction. Read each item carefully and write the letter of the correct answer in your notebook. Match column A with B, match column B with C, write the letter only. Good luck! Read the article below. Criticize using philosophical analysis and synthesis. Minimum of 5 sentences. Write your answer in your notebook. In the article by Richard Haydarian, June 16, 2020, he said, "The Philippines has been host to 2 of the world's longest-running insurgencies, Islamist and Communist, which have ravaged its southern island of Mindanao since the 1960s. Over time, many rebel groups have radicalized and turned to acts of terror. The months-long siege of Marawi by Islamic State-affiliated fighters in 2017 was a stark reminder of how profound the country's counterterrorism challenge is. This threat is the ostensible reason why in early June, at the urging of President Rodrigo Duterte, the first president from conflict-ridden Mindanao, the Philippines adopted a draconian counterterrorism law. The government argued that tougher legislation was indispensable to avoiding another major terrorist attack, including recent suicide bombings, and ensuring extremist groups and rebels do not exploit the COVID-19 crisis. Human rights and civil society groups, however, contend that the new counterterrorism law is too broadly drawn and will instead usher in a reign of terror, allowing authorities to silence voices of opposition in the name of national security. These groups are not wrong to be concerned. True or false? Direction. Read each item carefully and write the letter of the correct answer in your notebook. Write T if the statement is true and F if the statement is false. Explain your answer. Good luck. 1. An analysis is for making the truth understood by others once it is found. Explain your answer. 2. Not all students are enrolled this school year for fear of COVID-19 is an example of the proposition. Explain your answer. 3. Analysis primarily deals with paying consideration to the issue we want to resolve. Explain your answer. 4. It is important that in doing an analysis, you must proceed from what is better known to less known. Explain your answer. 5. René Descartes converses that analysis explains the true way by means of which the thing in question was discovered methodically. Explain your answer. Assignment: look for a short article in the newspaper or on the internet. Read and analyze it carefully using philosophical analysis and synthesis. Follow the format below.